What it do, y'all? Got another week of Tech File. NBA free agency has kicked off, and it has been a frenzy. There are some things to talk about, so we're gonna get right into that as soon as we get past this theme music.
Hit him hard, let's go. Red T-E-C-K, running back like where's my replay? Got it all in the mix, no BJs. Said it's hard in the game like he damn. It's the late me, spitting real talk for the entertainment. Other pods, I stand the game up and I get stuck back down like a WrestleMania. Tell them that they better get their nose ready at a home city. And I'll get it boss, keeping on the low setting. And you know we keep it safe, so we never gotta get tight than everybody else. They should get ready. Ain't nobody else doing this like I. Better keep them cameras and microphones hot, cause this one's a vibe. Gotta run this race with my tribe. I going live with the pie. Do it like it's no tomorrow. Came to my ear later. Shout out to my point guard. We about to hit them hard. Got them throwing in the tap. Tell the red blow the whistle. This is technical fire.
What it do? Welcome to episode 397 of Technical File, the sports podcast you never knew you needed.
And it's your boy, TIMKINZ, the number 3, a.k.a. Ass Ketchum, a.k.a. Mr. Give It To Me. What up, though?
I'm the RJ.
Only known as.
The RJ.
And I'm Camille, point guard of the crew, the real Tifa Lockhart, the girl next door, holding it down for all the women who love sports. Kay Harris, the gentleman, is not here with us this week. Again, make sure that you keep him and his family in your prayers, and we're going to hold it down for him. Like I mentioned, this week's episode, y'all, is going to be all NBA free agency, so it might be a little bit shorter. It might be the normal length of a show. Who knows at this point because of everything that's happened. But before we talk about it, I want to remind you, if you have not yet already, make sure you are following us on our social media platforms at Technical File, TECKNICALFOUL on Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, and Blue Sky. Technical File Podcast on Facebook and the YouTube. And we're gonna start with the big news. We got KG in the comments too. What's up, brother? What's up? The shocking move of free agency came on day 2 with the Milwaukee Bucks news that they are signing Miles Turner to a 4-year, $107 million deal. In order to accommodate this move, they're waiving and stretching Damian Lillard's contract. Plus, they traded Pat Connaughton to Charlotte. Now, with them waiving Dame's contract, who was, I think, scheduled to make like $110, $111, somewhere in that range over the next 2 years, this means that the Bucks will be paying Damian Lillard about $22.5 million for the next 5 years to not play for this team. I was shocked. Our group chat was just a bunch of like, wait, what? How? It has to be a sign and trade, right? No, then it came out. It's Dame. And it was like, wait, what? And Tim, you automatically went to the bright side of the picture for Dame. And my initial reaction was more like, that's cold. Like, that is cold to cut somebody while they got an Achilles injury. They're training to come back and you cut them and waive them. Like, that's cold. But you immediately went to like there is a bright side to this for Dame. But ultimately, let me start with you, Tim. Like, was your reaction and your overall feeling about Miles Turner coming to the Bucks, but the cost associated with this move?
I'm going to be completely honest with you. I didn't realize he was like a free agent. I just thought he was available. So I was like, oh, shit, we got Miles Turner from the Pacers. I'm like, oh, what? What the fuck? And I was like, okay, he was a free agent. Okay, cool. I'm like, where the fuck we get this money from? That's when the Dame news hit, and I'm like, I was with you at first. I was like, damn, that's cold. I was like, but what? Well, if they stretched him, he got his money, bro. I was like, and he can go wherever he want to go. And he go to the crib while he hurt. I was like, he's straight, bro. I was like, that's literally what my mind was. He's straight. He can go where he want to go. He can rehab with the kids and shit like that. He been complaining about it. Milwaukee ain't really got no soul tied to him. We traded for him. We traded the house for him. He ain't really give us what we traded back out, so the ROI wasn't the same. So they probably like, hell, if you'd have declined your player option next year anyways, that wasn't guaranteed. It could have been guaranteed. He picked it up because if he wasn't going to get it from somebody else, yes. But this is guaranteed. Ain't no questions, ain't no decisions to make, ain't no, hey, let's turn that down and maybe we'll extend you out for a different kind. No, you got your money. and you have the ability to rehab where you want to. You have the ability to sign where you want to. Hell, I'm sure Milwaukee ain't kicking you out. I'm sure they could still probably go there too if he really wanted to. Like, in essence, I feel like though it may have been like a sticker shock at first with the way he was treated, at the same time, it's like they actually did him a service for the person who he is, because they're still allowing him to have his choice of where he want to go, which he has not done yet. This is the first time he actually been able to do that in his career.
That's fair too, because he has not been on the market in that way. I won't say, I still won't go as far as saying the Bucks did him a service, because the Bucks were serving themselves ultimately, but there is a bright side to it for Dame with everything that you mentioned about the rehab and being able to choose where he goes from here. And honestly too, before I kick it to you, Eric, I do want to say, like, thank you, Dame. Like, it did not work out. But knowing what he was dealing with during his first year when he came here with his personal issues with the divorce and trying to adjust to a new city, adjusting to not being with his kids, but also going on the court, giving his all, really just working hard for the team, trying to find his place. Last year during the playoffs, like, played until he got injured and did what he could do for the squad, but it just didn't work out. It didn't work out, and you can say injuries really robbed us of a lot of opportunity to see it, because I think I saw the number of total minutes in the playoffs that Dame and Giannis shared was like 75 minutes in total.
Seriously?
Yeah.
I mean, because he didn't play at all the first year.
And I would imagine like 0 of those were healthy.
Right, because Dame, when he came back for this playoffs, was coming back from a blood clot in his calf. So again, nothing but respect for Dame. I got my Dame jersey in the closet. Like, we'll still wear it out to Bucks games and everything. Like, nothing but respect for Dame. But Eric, what were your initial thoughts on the move?
I mean, like everybody, shocked. First at the Turner news, and then like that inter-tweet time where everybody's like trying to compute like how are they able to afford 4 years, 150 million? And it's like, who went that? Is that enough? Like, well, the first round pick that has to be in it, and then Shams drops like the second bomb of nope, it's Dame and Wade, and then like again, I'm trying to do the permutations. I'm like, okay, but that's like I had to do the math. I'm like, that's $22.5 million every year for the next 5 years. Like, that's deep. And then I'm trying to figure out like what exceptions and like what moves they can still make. And it's like, okay, well, they still have Pat's contract, they still have Kuzma's contract, they still have first round picks, they still have at the time second round picks, they have swaps. Like, they still have some bullets in the chamber, I guess, to continue to improve this team. But it's like, of all the all-in moves that John Horst has made over the course of Giannis's prime, like, this is the time to push all your chips in. Like, there's no point in saving any of it. Like, whatever moves you can make, like, maybe there aren't any to make at the time, so like then it's just keep your powder dry. But like, if there's a move that takes you from, 13% chance at a title to 15%, like, that's enough for me. Like, I just need like go all in on all in. If this is the like no half measure. So yeah, I know that's like a lot of word vomit, but like that's kind of where my headspace has been today, where it's just like all over the place, like trying to figure out what the plan is. Just to touch on the Dame part of it, like, I do appreciate that he came here, and I mean, he didn't have a choice, but like, I appreciate his time here. And just the fact that we said it when he tore his Achilles, it was like, it was just cursed from jump. Like, I don't think that he came into it with bad intentions. Like, he seemed to actually be invested in making it work. And it's just, sometimes it just doesn't gel. And for both the Bucks and Dame, it's kind of like, there's no sense in throwing good money after bad. Like, just cut your losses. I've seen sunk cost fallacy so many times on my Twitter feed today, and it's true. Like, I mean, I guess like there's no point in trying to force something that wasn't going to work, and like, you Tim, I eventually got around to like it is mutually beneficial in the end, where it's like he's been putting it out in the media through a number of channels that
Like,
he's
he's
happy with this
straight, bro.
decision. Like he gets
Oh,
to
yeah, talking about that rumor. I'm straight. Believe you me, I'm good.
like yeah. And I was kind of annoyed when they said like he was considering. Well, I guess it was before the injury, but he was considering like declining his option anyway. It's like, well, then now you're taking on an extra $60 million that you may not have had to ultimately. But yeah, I think his agent, his family, everybody would have thrown their bodies in front of him declining a $60 million player option.
I don't know how realistic that was about declining that much bad.
I do think that it was within the realm of possibility had he not gotten hurt and they hadn't been able to find a trade for him. Like it just seems like it was just not a good fit for him personally or professionally. So, it's unfortunate. Like one final worry that I did have at the time, and it seems to be alleviated now, is just like the NBA is such like a respect driven league where it's like if he was blindsided, if they did this like just out of the blue, like I can see that being interpreted as kind of like a slap in the face, which again like has ramifications around the league where it's like, oh, don't do business with the Bucks because they kind of shady, and
right,
that's kind of been a common refrain with things that they've done, especially since Jimmy Haslam has taken over. So I did worry about like the Bucks' reputation after that, but it seems like everybody's cool with it. And Giannis, if he did relay to Chris Haynes that he was unhappy with the way things went down, like you kind of have to say that. Like he was upset when J. Kidd got fired. He was upset when Drew got traded. He was weirdly quiet when Chris kind of got moved. Like he wasn't as emotional, but I think he was in the middle of the season, so that was kind of part of it. But like he was tweeting through it with Brooke this morning. Like that's just who Giannis is, and like that's kind of what you have to do. Like he's not going to come out and say like, yeah, Dame sucked, I'm glad he's gone. Like
they respect each other. Like they did have a respect within their partnership, and the Miles Turner signing, like with all the other moves the Bucks were making throughout free agency, bringing back Gary Trent Jr., which what a deal that was. 2 years, $7.5 million. I thought he was going to get at least $7 million a year annually for the re-sign, but no, 7.5 for 2 years. Bringing back Kevin Porter Jr., bringing back Taurean Prince, which, okay, that's fine.
Find somebody that loves you as much as Darvin Ham loves Taurean Prince.
Yeah.
But I mean, with that, I was kind of like, okay, I see, we're running it back in a certain way, but also without Brook Lopez, they're like, it's a different era. Like they need another big. What is going to be their option at big? And everybody was throwing out DeAndre Ayton. And I was saying, like, he got some red flags for me. I don't like players with motor concerns, especially paying them like $10 million. I'm not comfortable. Then I saw Miles Turner sign with the Bucks, and I was like, wait, what? The on-court fit of that front court with exactly. He gives you a lot of what Brook Lopez does, and he's younger. Him and Giannis are like the exact same age, and their contracts actually run parallel to one another too. So there is some synergy in that. But like, what a great front court pairing from another guy who can stretch the floor, has a bit of a mid-range game, can protect the rim. Like he gives you a lot of what Brook gave you, and he's younger. So like on court, love the fit. I'm still working out if I actually like the financial commitment that goes along with it, with the Bucks having their cap sheets tied up with $22.5 million for the next 5 years. Like they're going to have to continue to hope that the cap does increase 10% every year, although we have already heard news that next season is only projected to increase about 7%. So that could be because like the regional sport networks falling out of favor and that model not working, which can y'all please figure out what y'all going to do with that? Because I can't deal with Bally Sports. No, we're not FanDuel Network now, whatever y'all want to call the network. Love everybody who works over there. Love the team. But golly, it's hard to watch games. But the on-court fit, I like it a lot. And this is a Bucks team. I guess they said like the East is open. If we can put together enough, like we're not taking this year off, we're going to actually try to go for it. But there's still things needed for this team going forward. I just got some questions still. Like, I think they're in a better spot to compete than they were, what I was thinking they were a month ago, knowing that Dame was going to be out. But there are still questions for me about this roster. But Tim, how do you feel about where the Bucks are, like, to compete in the East now with this move?
So the team that we were running with, or at least the 5 guys that we ran with at the end of the year, that we started with, things like that.
The one that should have been starting from
right. We got that 5 back. We got that core back, and that core was running. So I did like that core initially. So I feel like with people learning even more of their roles in this offense, sans Dame, because we gotta find number 2. We're gonna and a 3. Because I was like, shit. I was like, Turner can't come in thinking he's the number 2. That's not what you're here for. That's not what you here. He can put the ball in the bucket, but that's not what you're here for. That's not what we're asking you to do. Number 3 would be nice for him to do that. And I know we talked about it before, kind of off air, but I feel like JTG would be like the natural number 2. Just
I think Trent's the 2.
Yeah, he can set up. He get his own bucket. Like, I think he's going to naturally become our second scorer. Plus, he'll have more open or more rain because Dame gone, so he'll have more buckets, more shots to take.
Sorry to cut you off, but like, I think that it's important to note that he took another like smaller deal. I think it's the Bobby Portis, like basically what they do with Bobby Portis, where it's like you have to accrue like bird rights to be able to like extend off of a bigger number. So next year, I think he can sign like 4 for $64 or something like that. So like he can, like this year he would have been limited to like whatever the mid-level exception was, and next year he'll be able to get more going forward because like the mid-level will be higher, and then he's like 105% off of. It's basically he can get more money by waiting a year and cashing in the same way that Bobby did.
Oh, that's fair. I mean that's smart because then that keeps him. If that's the way that they go Rocket, then that keeps players in our system for at least 4 years that route. Then at least 4 years, because you got your first year here with us, and then you got that second year where they'll give you a bit of an increase, so they can give you the nice jump for your 3rd, 4th, and 5th year, because usually it's a 3-year deal right after that, something like around those lines. Yeah, so that keeps them around like at least 4, because that 3rd year 3 usually is like a player option or something like that. So at least 4 years.
John Horst loved giving player options like Torian, like Ham loved Torian Prince. So it's like
every deal was a 1+1.
Yeah.
Every deal. I'm like, damn, everybody got a 2-year deal, but it's really a 1-year deal. We all on the same fucking timeline. You going, I'm going to. Like the whole team is going at the same fucking time.
Plus, I think that's the only way you can kind of get guys that have somewhat of a market, like get them to take a minimum where it's like, okay, even if things go poorly, like you still have the option next year of still, getting your money.
And if things go well for you, you can opt out and you can test the market and do what you're going to do. So it's kind of like a win-win situation, a horse special that player option has become at this point.
And players love player options.
It's the option. Like, I love it too. I wish I got a player option. Go ahead.
You want a player option? Go to Milwaukee. Come on down. You can choose your last year if you want to, my nigga. We got you for 3. You decide on number 4.
Yeah, let me get that option.
Yeah, on court, I think I see the vision. Like again, I think that they still need an actual point guard. Like I get that Kevin Porter Jr. I guess is their starting one.
I think he got it in him to be a good 2-way.
But I think that they need. It's either like they need a second score. They just need somebody else that can kind of run a lineup. And
Chris Paul.
Giannis can't.
That's never going to happen.
Off the bench.
That's never going to happen.
He's a free agent.
That's never going to happen. He's not coming to Milwaukee. One, him and Giannis hate each other too much. 2, at this point in his career, he wants to play as close to his family as possible. His family's in LA. I think Chris Back is going to be a run it back specialist this year. He's either going to end up in Phoenix or with the Clippers, I think. Closer to the West Coast, closer to his kids. He is not coming to no Milwaukee.
But he still want to compete for a contender too. He might.
He is not coming to Milwaukee.
I think, and also you could argue like those teams out west are more contenders than the Bucks. So like if he's trying to prioritize contending, like
I mean that's the way. Like you come east and east, you can.
It is again, like, to Camille's point, family. Like, yeah. I haven't quite gotten there yet, but I'm trying to envision because like I think the best point guard left on the market might be Russ.
No,
like, I was about to say I've thought about Russ too.
Of the like just the chaos factor of it, like
bring him on.
I haven't quite reached that point yet, but like if the longer free agency goes along, it's like we need some.
No, bring Russ on. Let him go ahead and run the flow.
I guess talking about running it back, like Malcolm Brogdon is on the.
I thought about Brogdon. I was like, shit, fuck. We need one of these old niggas to come on through, bro.
See, that's the thing for me. I think what the Bucks need to prioritize is trying to sign players that are not much older than Giannis. Like the way forward is youth. The way forward is that depth. Like I just taking the swing. Like even last night on Locked On Bucks, they were kind of like, "Would you do Al Horford?" And at the time I was like, "Maybe." Then I was like, I thought about it and I was like, "He's 39." Like I don't. I'm not interested in guys that are over 30, 31 at this point.
Plus, I threw out Cole Anthony in the group. Ain't nobody saying nothing.
Cole Anthony, I can get down with. I can get down with Cole Anthony.
And he'll be a free agent. He's a young guy.
I don't want anybody small. Like maybe that's maybe that's not appropriate to say, but if we're gonna run a team that's predicated, like it seems like they're leaning into the defense. So it's like you need as much size on the court as possible, and they already have 3 at least, like undersized 2 guards. So like you're already positionally small there, and like their best lineup had 3 guys that are like 6'3", 6'4". So like if we are bringing in people, like I want it to be bigger. Like I want them to be big, athletic, and can shoot.
Or at least 2 or 3. Fit all that
at point guard,
or at least 2 or 3. Like I mean, just like the player profile of people that they bring in, like that's what I want. Is like positional size.
You want the Bucks to sign Ben Simmons?
He can't. Well, I guess that's 2 of the 3. Yeah.
The
saving grace there is I don't think Ben Simmons will ever play for Doc Rivers again. So I think we're.
That was my thing. That's why I didn't think of because I was going down the free agent list earlier. After I seen the Miles Turner, I'm like, who the fuck else is left? Who I want, bro? We got money now. Who the fuck else I want on the team?
So your point about smaller guys is interesting. On Mind the Game podcast, that's the LeBron, Steve Nash podcast. They had Kevin Durant on there, which I would highly recommend anybody go listen to that. But they had a conversation about smaller guards, and they made mention of the fact of like Kevin Durant was like, I'm not sure there's a place for any under 6'2" guards to start in the NBA no more because the NBA has turned into a league of picking on people. Like it's an exploit league now where on offense, what you're just trying to do is find whoever that weakest link is, and you're going to continuously pick on him until they show you that he can't be picked on no more. And he's like, so unless you're like a super gifted offensive small guard, like it's just difficult for you to be a starting point guard in today's NBA. And I was like, it's a very interesting point. And he pointed to the ones that do. He's like, normally they're bigger bodied, like Donovan Mitchell is stockier. Drew Holiday got some, like he's a stocky guy. Like you can't be small. And so I hear your point. And then, like we got the new 2-way with Mark Sears, and Mark Sears is like my height. For real. like we like the same height. So it's tough.
Yeah, I was gonna say at the very least, like he's one that's like worth taking a flyer on. Like you're not counting on him to be a rotation player, and if he turns out to be a second coming to Jalen Brunson, like cool, but you've only invested like a 2-way in it. Like I don't really care. But it's like if you're counting on people to be part of your rotation off top, it's like I want to be sure that you can survive in a playoff matchup. And first and foremost is, can you stay on the court defensively, and can you knock down enough shots that they aren't leaving you butt naked wide open? Like so around Giannis, the only shooter that's like they got some fake shooters, but at least like they shoot 38 to 40% Torian Prince.
That's good.
But like
ain't no fake shooter.
But they didn't guard him in the playoffs. Is my point. But
Okay,
like, really, the
okay.
worst shooter that they have around Giannis now is Kuzma, and but like everybody else is at least a good regular season shooter.
And
that
Sims.
kind of and Sims, but like I don't really count him as a rotation guy. But like he's an emergency big change of pace kind of thing.
We thought that when we got him, and he became a big.
But again, like they're three, like we've seen like what their big man rotation is going to be, because like you just are subbing in Miles Turner for Brook Lopez. Like they're running no three bigs until they can't. Like they got their hand forced last year because of Bobby's suspension, and then Brook getting played off the court in the playoffs. But like ideally, those are your three bigs and you're set.
So I mean, now we'll talk about draft stuff a little bit later, but ultimately, I kind of feel like the Bucks are still cooking some things up here, and we'll see the roster itself. I keep saying like I feel like the Bucks are weak, or like lacking on wings. I honestly keep forgetting about Kyle Kuzma.
I keep forgetting about Andre Jackson, but same.
So it's like, again, they gonna need some big play from the wing position. I think they can show up there, but they do need another point guard. I think as well. I hope Ryan Rollins can come back to the squad.
Yeah. Question for you, Camille, because you're more tapped in. Would you prefer that they keep Kuzma to see if like a summer in the system, knowing his role, if you can rehab his value and then hopefully look to move on for a better fit at the deadline or in some point in the future? Or would you rather just be like, whatever we can get for him now for a better theoretical fit, just take what you can?
Honestly, I'd rather keep him for the now. I don't think Kuzma should start. I don't think he should start for this Bucks team. I think he should come off the bench and try to be super six man. Like let him and Bobby develop some type of chemistry and let the two of them cook out for the second units. And then round trade deadline, you can reevaluate, because Kuzma's contract he has this year and he has next year. So like it might be easier to trade him around the deadline. It might be easier to trade him next summer when his contract is actually expiring and the price that's attached to him might not be as exorbitant. It's just like I don't want to have to attach that 2031 first round to Kuzma as more of a dump than like an improvement for the team going forward. So I'd keep him. I just wouldn't start him. That's the thing. I would not start Kyle Kuzma.
Or just hold on to him and wait till the team needs some wing/big man depth.
Yeah, I mean he could be useful this upcoming season. It's just using him in the right role, figuring out the best way to try to utilize his talent.
Slash his ass. Don't he shoot shit? Don't shoot shit.
Which is why if he's on the second unit, he can sub in for Giannis, and he can not necessarily be the initiator, but he can be the guy who's doing the slashing and the cutting. And yeah, I think there's still a role for Kyle Kuzma. It's just not in the starting lineup for the Bucks, which I guess someone could argue if you're paying them $22 million, then is it worth it? It was worth it to get under the cap.
I think the elephant in the room with all these conversations is this isn't a team that is necessarily built on like system anymore, and it's actually going to rely on some coaching decisions. And I'm not sure that is still going to be
the facilities for it.
That's still going to be an issue, I think. And like I'm probably higher on Doc than most of the fan base, but even I'm like, like you need somebody that's creative, because it's just going to be very heliocentric with Giannis. And it's like you need a second pitch.
Another thing they talked about on Mind the Game, Steve Nash asked Bron and KD where they saw the future of the league going. And they were talking about the finals, and they mentioned like on offense, how the Pacers offense is like organized chaos. See, like they have a few things they run, but a lot of it is read and react. And that's how they play. It's the organized chaos of their offense. It's kind of like play random, but like there's a structure, but it's a loose one. And guys are just reading and reacting on where they should be. And they said the flip side to that was the Thunder. And they said the way the Thunder play defense is the exact same way the Pacers play offense, where it's not a system. It's just like we're reading and reacting to what's happening, and they're all on the string together. So it made me kind of think of like for the Bucks, they mentioned like the importance of the mid-range too. And I posted this clip on Twitter where they were saying the mid-range is still important, but what makes it more important is the guy that's taking the shot. And they were saying they think it's important if your star player has a mid-range, and your role players are the ones that can knock down threes, because of course you want to try to get your threes, you want to try to get your layups, but if your star player is somebody who people respect in the mid-range or have gravity, they can use that to kick out to the open shooter that can make the open shot, and that's how the offense can flow, which for this upcoming season for Giannis, especially with him being the lead initiator for the Bucks, it's going to be really important for him to continue to work on that mid-range game that we saw last year developing, because as he continues to get older, it is less wear and tear on your body to be able to take those type of shots rather than, going up on 2-3 dudes at the rim where they're trying to stop you. So, again, Miles Turner fits in that because he can knock down the open shot. AJ Green, we know he can knock down the open shot. I want AJ to shoot 8 threes a game this upcoming season. You got Gary Trent Jr., Kevin Porter Jr. used to work on the catch and shoot, but like the outline of what you need is there. It's just like, can we execute it at a higher level? So I think it's going to be a fun season for the Bucks as they continue getting this roster together.
2 things. One, I just hope it's not as dribble handoff centric. Like there was so many DHOs last year. Yeah. But also I did want to say shout out to Pat Connaughton. Like,
oh yeah, for sure.
Like that's gotten swept under the rug a little bit today, but like it's only Giannis and Bobby left from that championship team. And Pat and Brooke came in that same year as Buzz. So like they were institutions in Milwaukee. For better or worse. So like shouts to him. I hope, like he's reuniting with Charles Lee. So hopefully he gets like a little, career renaissance there. I actually like what they're building in Charlotte. Like we may or may not talk about that later, but like I like the moves that they made at the draft, and like they're bringing the players that they brought in.
Charlotte. That's fuck y'all. Where the white boys at?
Yeah,
like 5 of them this offseason.
Yeah.
Like all these signings have been white boys all season.
Sound like the Lakers.
We need coaching this bitch.
See, I wasn't gonna mention it, but yeah. But like, just clearing out the issues that they had in that locker room. Like maybe you do got to go complete 180 personality wise.
Hey, I'll say this: Pat's a good vet. Yeah. For that locker room. Same way I feel about Chris Middleton in Washington, where it's like he's going to be a good bet for these young dudes in that locker room. So shout out to Pat Connaughton, shout out to Brooke Lopez, big shout out to Brooke Lopez. And yeah, let's continue some other conversations here, because not only did the Rockets trade for Kevin Durant last week, like we talked about, and all that meant for the fit for the Rockets, they extended Jabari Smith. And now they're reportedly signing Dorian Finney-Smith to a 4-year deal, about $53 million. Are you buying the Rockets as a legitimate threat to the Thunder in the West? Because like they already finished second in the West last year with some known like deficits on the roster. And I feel like this offseason, they've been very deliberate about trying to fix those holes, and honestly, I think they've done a fantastic job of that so far this summer.
Yeah, 100%. I know when we initially talked about like a KD trade and best destinations, I was like, I think he's past the point where you kind of like uproot your team to bring him in, but like they basically slotted him in seamlessly, and the fact that they got DFS to essentially replace Dylan Brooks, like. That's a neutral, like it's a neutral trade from like a what you send out aspect, but like you just basically turned Jalen Green into Kevin Durant, which again, like Jalen Green was kind of like the weakness that they had last year, where he's supposed to be their designated scorer and he's not that great at it. But
too inconsistent.
Yeah, you bring in one of the greatest scorers of all time, who still on an individual basis is putting up the numbers. And you don't tax him with being like the team leader and having to get other guys involved. Like he's a designated gunner. And like if you can bring in anybody in league history probably for that role, like that's the dude that you want. Just a walking, a 7-footer that's a walking 27 and 5, whatever he is, on 50, 40, 90 shooting. Like
he gonna give you at least 25 efficiently.
Yeah. And then you didn't even mention, but like they also brought in Capella, which again just gives them so much versatility with big. So you have Şengün, who's
wait, they brought
they signed Capella too.
Oh shit.
Yeah, and so like Capella at this point in his career, he ain't who he was in his first Houston stint or even early in Atlanta, but like he's a quality backup big at this point.
Yeah, and I was saying like the three bigs that they had all give you different things. And while I wouldn't necessarily play Capella and Adams together, but like any other combination of those three works. Or you can just one with one big with all the wings that they have. And big wings too. Like when I was talking about positional size, like you got Tari Eason, you got KD, Dorian Finney-Smith, Amen Thompson. Like all these guys are like what 6'6", 6'7" plus, and can all slot up and play the four in various lineups. But I was saying about the bigs, you got Şengün, who's kind of like your finesse scorer, kind of facilitator big. You've got Steven Adams, who's your bruiser, set picks. Run around rebounding. And you've got Capella, who again, like his athleticism has diminished a bit, but he's still somebody that can block shots, that can be a lob threat. Like they all give you different things, and it's like another point that we learned from the playoffs is versatility matters. So it's like if this isn't a Steven Adams series, it might be a Clint Capella series. If this isn't a Şengün series, it may be a Tari Eason, like like you have so many pitches that you can try it out. Like they don't know necessarily what's coming.
I'm with you on that. Like their lineup is, they finished number 2 in the West. I think they're there again because they really didn't drop nothing. Like everything that Houston has done so far up to this point has been just pure improvement, at least to me. And I like the squad that they had last year. Like I said, I missed the Clint Capella one. Part of the thing that they did to teams last year was bringing out the rotation of 3 bigs and causing issues. Or they were just big as shit. And then they had skilled bigs. So them just kind of replacing it with more skilled bigs is kind of like, oh shit, okay. And then no, I fuck with the KD edition. And then Finney-Smith coming off the bench to cause chaos and shit. Like they just have, Houston is well built, bro. Like they have a really, really good team. They have a fantastic head coach too. So he gonna figure it out. So they are gonna be a problem for real. But no, I like what they're doing.
Yeah, they are. And the other team in the West that's gearing up is the Nuggets. They traded Michael Porter Jr. and their 2032 first round pick to the Nets for Cam Johnson. They also signed Bruce Brown, so they spinning the block with Bruce Brown coming back to Denver. And they traded Dario Saric to the Kings for Jonas Valanciunas, which I think Valanciunas is a great backup big for the Nuggets. And they signed didn't they sign Tim Hardaway Jr. as well too? So they got another shooter. Like again, another team that looked at the playoffs, said, hey, here's where we came up short. The depth wasn't depthing the way we needed it to. And this is the Nuggets team that still pushed OKC to 7 games this year, but they faltered down the stretch when like Aaron Gordon had half a hamstring and Kevin Porter Jr. had half a shoulder.
Had half a point. God damn it, that nigga didn't score shit.
He was playing to Kevin Porter Jr.'s credit.
Michael.
He was out there playing through a severe shoulder injury. Like you could tell it was bothering him. He still went out there and
put up 4 points again.
And I'll say this too about Kevin Porter Jr. and Cam Johnson.
Michael.
Sorry. Michael Porter Jr. and Cam Johnson. MPJ has an injury history, and we all know he has the injury history. But if you look at the numbers over the last 3 years, he's actually played more games than Cam Johnson.
I thought he produced like that's that's crazy.
Like it's Cam Johnson has
like half a season at one point, didn't he?
You said what?
It's like Cam missed like half a season at one point, didn't he?
I believe so. Like, yeah, and the thing is, like, I don't know how much of that was for this past year of like the Nets being like, we
shut him down.
We're trying to get Cooper Flag. We ain't really trying to do all this. Boo boo, you can sit. And how much of it was like actual health concerns, but it's just something to note when thinking about the switch from Michael Porter Jr. to Cam Johnson of like the injuries are a bit of a concern with Cam too, but I think his fit, he can give you a bit more with the slashing. He can give you a bit more with the defense. He's not as unconscious of a shooter as MPJ is, but like he can still knock down the open three. And I like what Denver has done this offseason as well.
Yeah. Like you said, like they did a self-analysis. They figured out what it was that they needed, and they were laser focused in acquiring those types of players. Like their biggest issues were depth, a lack of depth. Like I think the reason that Calvin Booth wound up getting fired is that he had too much faith in the guys that he drafted, where he's like, these are the guys, and like him and Michael Malone couldn't get along, and like Michael Malone's like, these dudes stink, and like he didn't want to bring in the vets, and he didn't want to kind of keep replenishing like the people around Jokic. Like he had so much faith in the guys that he drafted. But like this new front office is like, yo, we can get a veteran shooter in Tim Hardaway. We can finally get a backup five, which has been something that they've needed since Mason Plumlee. Like they haven't had a legitimate.
DeAndre Jordan back there for a second.
Like I said, they haven't had a legitimate. And like if you look at like that's why Jokic's like on-off numbers are so massive, is because like they don't have it. Like when he goes off the court, like 5 is just terrible. Like nobody's gonna come in and replicate what he does, but like their points, like their net rating falls off a cliff when he sits because they haven't been able to bring in a 5 that can at least, tread water. Again, Jones Allen is a top 30 center. Like there are teams that he could start for today, namely the Lakers. And like again, like you're getting him for Dario Saric, who gave you nothing last year. So smart moves all around. And I think they're back to contender tier.
Are Denver? I feel like they need a point guard, but you don't need one. But I also feel like that's part of the fall off, because once Jokic leaves the floor, not only do you have a backup 5 in who doesn't replicate what he does, your playmaking falls off, your scoring falls off. Like everything kind of falls off because you got everything in one and you don't necessarily replicate it throughout the team. I think that these moves that they're making, like everybody just saying the self-awareness, self-checking, like, all right, we failed here. We're lacking what the 2 finals teams had the most: depth, defense. Like though now teams like that's we was talking about, like what does this finals run change in the league? And I said I feel like teams are going to go for, and I think Camille, you said it too, depth, all around squads, defense, and teams that are really going to go for, all right, we got our one, let's really make sure the rest of the team is well balanced.
Yeah, and to your point, like
for those teams,
I think the only point guard they have on their roster outside of Jamal Murray is Jalen Pickett. Like they have some shooting guard. They got quite a few shooting guards. They got some small forwards, but actual point guards.
Yeah, I don't think they've had one in a minute because Jokic is the one, but the 5, but they lack in both areas behind him.
Are you not counting Jamal Murray as a point guard?
No, I count him as a 2, more like a 2.
Oh. I was like, point.
But I look at Jamal more like a 2. Like really, when he comes in, I know it's because he created his own shots and things like that. But more so, they need him to fill that motherfucker up.
Yeah. I mean, he's like a combo guard. So I can, I see your point on that one. Like, I like what Denver's done. Again, they're a team that finished well in the West last year after turmoil to start the season, after a coaching change. I'm buying what the Nuggets are selling at this point.
Can I just say, like, pickings get real slim 24 hours or less into free agency. Like Keith Smith, NBA on Twitter, like he will regularly throughout the first couple of days of free agency list like the top 5 guys at each position. And we're already to like, Dante Exum and Amir Coffey and Bobo and Jackson Hayes. Like, these are top 5 guys left at their position in free agency. So you really do have to get your work done early.
Bobo.
Yeah.
He ain't no center.
He tall shit. They need some height. They need some height. These some size, these something over there.
They better hope this DeAndre Ayton thing works out for them to sign him at this point.
He reminds me of
but I went to check just to see like who he has as his top 5 point guards left. He has Josh Giddey, who's a restricted free agent who ain't going anywhere. But then it's Chris Paul, Malcolm Brogdon, Russ, and Ben Simmons. So like, I really don't know what.
We talk about all 5 in Milwaukee. What you talking about?
I guess probably Cole Anthony you could throw in there too. So like, of those, I guess Brogdon would be pretty cool for them.
Bring back Russ. They loved him last year.
Russ got their coach fired. I don't think that's going to happen.
I think I've been seeing the Russ to Sacramento. Like apparently Sacramento really wanted him and Dennis Schroeder like as their guard tandem because they had no point guards themselves. So ain't that crazy when you think about it? Like y'all had Fox and y'all had Halliburton and
Davion Mitchell.
Like, and they had Off Night who looked good in Miami last year, and now it's the Bulls part 2.
Now it's Dennis.
What I will say for teams that I'm kind of seeing the common thread here, just because you're big and you have a big that can play make, don't mean you don't need another guard. You definitely need a point guard.
Well, like again, like Jeff Teague has made a big deal about like playing with Giannis. Is like he don't need a point guard, and it's like you're kind of taking like their primary function away. Like if it's just like standing in the corner when you're on the court with Jokic or Giannis or whoever, it's like that's not appealing to point guards. Like nobody that fancies themselves a starting point guard is gonna want to come in and play that role because it's like you're taking the ball out of my hands. Like this is what I've done my entire life. So, and like even see like Dame isn't even like necessarily like Dame is probably best suited to play off ball to a degree, but even he came in and was like, I don't really know what the fuck I'm supposed to be doing. And that's one of the few point guards that Giannis was probably like willing to concede at least some of the possessions to. So. Like you're always going to get combo guards with guys like that.
Yeah, and I mean, again, if you look at the Nuggets roster, very, very light on point guards, but heavy on shooting guards. They got Christian Brown, they got Peyton Watson, they got Bruce Brown now, Tim Hardaway Jr. now. Like you got some guys there that can slot into that role, and not to mention too. DeRon Holmes didn't get to play last year because he got hurt early. So he's finally going to play. So they have another big to throw into their rotation as well. So Denver going to be pretty good next year, I think. A team where there's some smoke in the air around them, though. LeBron James. He opted into his $52.6 million player option. And then here comes Rich Paul putting out a statement about LeBron wanting to compete for a championship and valuing a realistic way to win it all. What do y'all make of this? And do you think LeBron actually wants out from the Lakers? Because when I saw it, I was like, I don't think he's necessarily asking for a trade, but it feels like he's just setting things up. Like he knows the NBA the schedule. He's like, hey, this is all getting ready to kick off. Let me just throw this nugget out here so that people understand where I'm trying to be going forward.
Yeah, I think it's more like he's setting up for the next round of things, like whether it's the trade deadline, next year's draft, next year's free agency. Like he's putting it out there like, hey, I'm open to moving, essentially. Because I know Brian Windhorst was reporting that he called a couple teams that he thought may be potential LeBron destinations, and all of them were kind of caught flat-footed, like, oh, we weren't expecting this right now. And I know that there's like a lot of back channeling and stuff like so. Like LeBron is essentially signaling to the league that this is probably my last year with the Lakers. Start getting your stuff together so that you're prepared to bring me in next year. Or he could just be setting up his farewell tour. I would imagine he would announce that in advance, but I think this is more so like a opening shot, not necessarily pushing the red button.
I'm kind of there with you on that. I think he's posturing for his exit. I think it's a whether it's today, tomorrow, next week, next year kind of thing. I'm just letting y'all know I'm watching y'all motherfuckers. Depending on what y'all doing, I'm just letting you know I'm constantly trying to compete for a title. If I'm not doing that here, I'm moving around. So you got a couple more days, you got a couple more weeks to kind of figure this shit out. But right now, we done lost somebody. We still ain't got no goddamn big.
Still.
Last
year.
A draft and free agency, and we still ain't got no damn big. We're supposed to be building around Luka, who I get it, that's the future. I just want y'all to know. And now we selling the team. I'm watching y'all. Just want y'all to know. I see and read the news too. It's not a fake book on this one. I'm reading this motherfucker.
And it's like the moves they made. Like they brought in Jake LaRavia, who I like. I do like Jake LaRavia. I think that's a good pickup for them. But he's 24. We know LeBron wants the vets. He wants to go out there and try to win. And with the Lakers, pretty much have been saying like, we're building for Luka now. Because initially when I heard him say like, I'm going to go where I could be for a championship, I was like, your teammate is Luka. Like, what do you mean? But then when I thought more about it, I was like, oh, how the roster is being built out to accommodate what Luka wants, necessarily what LeBron wants. And he's going to see how this year goes. Let me ask y'all this. Do you think there's any chance LeBron gets traded before the deadline? Or do you think he plays out this contract in LA and then uses that to actually scour the market to go where he actually wants to go? Because he's making $52.6 million this upcoming season.
I think the only way he gets traded in season is if Bradley Beal waives his no trade clause. And I also don't necessarily see the Lakers being interested in doing that. But like that's the only place where it's like it's kind of like a clean, salary match kind of thing. Because otherwise it's the same thing with KD where it's like you're uprooting so much of your team to bring in a guy that you're going to have like 2-3 years max.
And for this situation,
he can still a couple of years. But yeah, even for LeBron, like I'm sure owners would look at it being like, hey, we can sell some tickets. But like from a basketball standpoint, especially how hard it is to make trades in season now for salary matching purposes, like it's tough.
They want Kuzma? We're coming back. Come on, Milwaukee, bro.
I was watching Jake Fisher on YouTube, and he was saying that he had started like asking like, game for LeBron, who says no. Like obviously this was before this morning, but he was like, that's what he woke up thinking, is because it's like one of the few places where it's like the Bucks may be desperate enough to do it. The Lakers may see kind of like the benefit of bringing in Dame to be able to move him next year when he's an expiring contract, kind of kick the can down the road type of thing. But obviously that blew up. But
anything LeBron get traded?
Probably the Lakers, right?
No.
You said what?
I wonder who would have said no. I guess the Lakers probably, right? I mean, LeBron was one, but yeah, I think the Lakers.
I mean, LeBron playing with Giannis, I think would be appeasing in the East
for a half a season rental.
Yeah, I think that he would actually entertain that.
But do you think LeBron gets traded this season?
No. I'm not saying that though.
Just two separate questions to be very clear. I wasn't insinuating the Bucks part.
Yeah, no, it was. I don't think so. I think that wherever he goes, he kind of want the Aaron Rodgers. I feel like he's kind of wanted to do the Aaron Rodgers job where let me skip a couple camps, a couple days in the off season. I'll show up around the time y'all need me to be here. I'm not trying to put no more wear and tear on me. So, but you can, if you're LeBron, you're allowed to do that if you're on a contending team. I think most coaches, GMs, or whatever like that would allow him, of all people, to do something like that if we're bringing you in. And I feel like they would do that for him in the offseason to allow him to really get acclimated with the team. At this point in LeBron's career and what he means to certain teams, mid-season would be like, yo.
Yeah.
Like, that would be like, yo, nobody really safe at all now. Like, because even the megastar is protected just because namesake. Like, he goes when he say go.
He got a no trade clause, so it really is if he say.
Yeah, so it's one of those, like, if that happened, you'd be like, okay, what the fuck? For real.
no trade clause aside, like you would have said that today before today about Dame. So like everything is on the table these days. Like anybody can get it.
I mean, we should honestly, since the Luka trade.
That's what we've been saying.
Yeah, that's
So question for you guys, like salary matching, reality be damned. What like uniform, what team, what situation would you want to see LeBron go to? Like, do you want him to go home to Cleveland? Do you want him to come to the Bucks? Like, do we need a LeBron Garden season in New York? Like, go back to Miami. Like, where do you want to see him end up? Like, where do you want to see him end his career?
A LeBron farewell tour as a Knick would be
kind of nuts.
Yeah.
That'd be kind of nuts. I ain't gonna hold it. That'd be kind of nuts. And
that would be
Madison Square Garden too.
I'm saying like that actually.
And everybody running to the Knicks right now. Apparently, that's the horse that everybody putting their ticket behind. Huh?
And
all you niggas running over to New York, huh? I see you, Clarkson. New York's the spot, huh? Okay, Wabusele. I see you. Okay. Y'all think this is okay?
I mean, cap for LeBron, I'm pretty sure that works money wise.
Yeah.
Well, see, I'm thinking of it as in like this.
No. I'm joking. Like if the Knicks did that, that would be
nuts.
Very dumb. But also, I mean, like they were complaining about him in the playoffs. So who do I know?
Then they would need a big still.
Yeah. What? Mitchell Robinson.
They would need another big still. Like I don't know if you can trust Robinson to play all regular season and then in the playoffs.
Robinson, they got Yabusele. Bring back Precious.
All right. Let's wrap this up with this question here. Are there just any other teams that we haven't discussed yet that you want to highlight for what they've done so far in free agency? These 2 days into it so far.
I do like what I hate it, but I like it at the same time. Detroit. I see niggas flocking in Detroit a little bit too. Then picking up Duncan Robinson to replace forgot all about Beasley.
Gambling Beasley.
As soon as we're done, I'm gonna read this, but like there's an article that got released that's talking about like basically he got money problems, which has compounded like the gambling problems, and they got receipts of like people that he owes, including people in Milwaukee still. So there may be more smoke there.
Was that Pato or he got like some like bookies?
No, like he owes like he stiffed Dennis, like he has like I think he took out a payday loan. Like he was
not making millions. They ain't got enough money in there to give you the payday loan.
Again, like I haven't had time to read it. I'm just kind of like pulling the quotes out, but
what?
And then you made it.
I say, man, go ahead.
That nigga was it seemed like he was shaving points at various times during that Buck season. So
nigga,
I believe it. Allegedly.
I mean, listen,
that was the season in question. The season in question is the year he was with us.
Mm-hmm.
And there was several games where this nigga's 7, 8, 9 threes, and the next game you 1 for 19. Like, what the fuck is this?
I was more so thinking about the defense side of things.
He ain't never played no damn good defense, so I ain't worried about that.
Yeah, but like the play that's been circulating is the one against the Pacers.
Stay there, nigga. All right.
And he just gets ran past. It's like you didn't even try to slide your feet. But no, Detroit had to pivot. Because they were going to give Beasley like a 3-year, $42 million contract, and all this came out. And they were like, okay, let's go get Karis LeVert and Duncan Robinson and see what we can do with that. And I don't know if I love it, but I think it's a good pivot for them. And they're going to get Ivy back too. So I can see why Detroit is on your list of like kind of interested in what they're doing.
Bogey retired too. But
Bogdanovich. Yeah.
And didn't he play for last year too for a hot second, or was he on the Nets last year?
Wait, are you talking about the one who's on the Clippers?
No,
he was on the Clippers last year.
Wait, who are you talking about?
He's talking about the other one. He's talking about the bigger one.
The bigger one.
Oh, the one that was in Brooklyn.
Yes.
Okay. And he didn't really play much.
No, I don't think he played at all. I think he was on. He got traded for Bridges, so I guess he ended up on the Nets, but I don't think he played at all.
Yeah.
If he was even on the roster.
I
So
think he was hurt most of the year too.
yeah, no, he's been hurt for the last couple of years.
So,
Yeah, mine is Atlanta. Like I think that's the du jour pick at this point. I do still want to shout out Orlando. Like I think the Bang trade was great and they got Tyus Jones. But yeah, Atlanta, I don't think they necessarily swung for the fences. Like they didn't give up much to get Porzingis, but if he's healthy and right, like that's a great pickup for them. I mean, they got gifted a free lottery pick most likely from New Orleans just to wind up getting the guy that they probably would have picked at their original spot anyway. Not DFS. Nikhil Alexander Walker. Like they got some defensive. You want to talk about defensive versatility? Like Trey aside, like that is going to be a tough team to score against.
yep.
You got Dyson Daniels, you got Naw, you got Jalen Johnson, Aneka Kongwu. Did I say Dyson Daniels? If I didn't, him. Like they have a squad of dudes that can just lock up. Reese Shea.
Okongwu.
Yep. So yeah, they and again, Porzingis as a rim protector is kind of that's a beast too. So yeah, shout out to Atlanta. Like they're building something special. Like Atlanta and Orlando are exactly what I was talking about when all these injuries happen in the East, where it's like it's gonna make teams feel like, hey, we got a shot, and then they're gonna push their chips in, and I think that's smart business.
Porzingis gonna have Trey Young looking for his ass.
Yeah,
that's why I was. I didn't think about it till now. I was like, Trey gonna be like, "Hey, here's an easy bucket, my nigga.
Yeah,
here's another easy bucket, my nigga."
And they're gonna have floor spacing by having him on the floor too as a stretch five. Like it's setting up.
That's gonna be a problem.
They set up real nice in Atlanta. That's the team I was gonna say too. But I'm gonna talk about the Clippers real quick because they tied for third in the West last year. They ended up finishing fifth. And they pretty much said, we're going to double down on this core and we're going to run it back and just try this one more again with these guys. And you saw proof in the pudding last year with the fact that they were a 50-win team, I believe, last year. So like you saw it, and that was with Kawhi missing half the year. He finished the year healthy, but they're an older team. So I'm just curious to see how the season plays out for him. I love Brook Lopez to the Clippers. I was thinking Brook Lopez to LA, but for some reason never considered the Clippers. I was just thinking of the Lakers because they have such a glaring need for a center. But he fits so much better with the Clippers than he would with the Lakers because the Clippers have the great point of attack defenders, which if you're playing Brook Lopez in that drop, he needs to make sure that you have some dogs in front of you because at 37, he is a little bit slower, but he can still defend the rim at a high level if he's put in a good situation. You don't want him out in space, and he can knock down the three. Like a great backup point guard or backup center for Zubac. And yeah, they're an older team. The following dudes are over the age of 30. Chris Dunn is 31. Norm Powell is 32. Bogdanovich is 33. Kawhi is 34. James Harden is 36. Brook Lopez and Nicholas Batum are 37. And those are a lot of key guys in their rotation. And if Chris Paul does sign with the Clippers, older. Even older. But yeah, free agency, man. It's a crazy time. One last bonus question before we get out of here, because we haven't talked about the draft since that happened since the last time we were together, I believe. My days are all correct. It all blurs together at this point.
Our last show was on the same night as night 2.
So we didn't see the Bucks pick. Yes. Nope. Okay. How are y'all feeling about Bogey Markovich going to the Milwaukee Bucks 47th pick in the second round for the squad?
I'm fine. Like I'm not even gonna pretend like it's the second round pick. If they even make the floor, like it's kind of a success. He has tools. It seems like he needs to build his body up and get better defensively, but he's skilled as all hell. And it's intriguing. Again, like you had people jumping out the window, like, "Oh my god, I can't believe! Like, why are you drafting a 19-year-old? Like, Giannis needs help now." And blah blah. It's like there's nobody that you're gonna get at pick 47 that's likely to make an immediate impact in the NBA. So it's like they're all lottery tickets. Like, just to enjoy. Like, I'm interested to see what he does in summer league. If they wind up stashing him, great, because that delays the clock when he does come over. Like, then like you're not wasting as many years and years that he's not playing, and you get him on like that first cheap deal for longer. If he comes over now, it's because they think that he can contribute sooner rather than later, which is again a win. So I don't know. It seems like a win-win situation, and of the guys that were available at his pick, like he probably has some of the most upside. So
yeah. Tim, how you feeling about Bogle Yoop?
I don't expect shit from him. When we drafted him, I was like, all right, well, if this is drafting stash, cool. If he is coming in to kind of put up some fight a little bit, cool. But it seems like a player that, for a team that doesn't necessarily have the time for projects, seems like a project. So it's like, okay. And I left it at that. I don't know what the fuck y'all got going on.
That's a logical response to have, Tim.
Because I was expecting, though I'm not expecting a home run, though we've done a lot better in the second than the first round. I wasn't expecting a home run hitter, but the second round, we've also grabbed like older college guys who can kind of come in and do something, who would be able to contribute something more than this. So I'm excited to see him in summer league, see what he can do, and he go back to Europe. We'll see you next year. If not, who you beating up for a spot this year, my boy? Yeah, but when they picked him, I was just like, so they don't give a fuck. Okay.
And here's the thing too, because some people were saying the Bucks were capping because the Bucks were saying like we didn't think he'd still be on the board when we picked, and we've been interested in him. But like, no, like if you look at consensus like draft rankings and whatnot, some people had him as high as like late first. So like, yeah, the Bucks probably did have very real surprise that he was available still on the board at that time. Great offensive tools. I watched the Nike Summit game that he was in, which kind of helped to elevate his draft status a little bit more. The offense is there. He has the shot making. He has playmaking potential. He has the rebounding. He has some defensive potential, but like not a lot. That's a weakness for him, and he's really, really frail at this point.
Like that.
Yeah, he gets bullied a lot. A little bit inconsistent with his shot. The ball handling can be a little loose for him. Sometimes on defense, he just fouls too much and just doesn't have the lateral quickness to keep up with smaller guards. But he has a good pedigree. And I thought, like you, Tim, that the Bucks might take an older player that could do something. Like Proctor was still on the board at that time. I'm like, I could see that being the guy they go with, but took another swing, a swing on talent. Because if he can add on the strength and the offense translates to the NBA, like, again, you have another big that fits the type of bigs that the Bucks like around Giannis. Someone who can space the floor, knock down shots. And I actually do hope he comes over this year. One of his interviews, I'm going to just read a quote. I wrote it down because I was like, I like this mentality from him. I think that Giannis is going to be a great bet for him. And now they got Miles Turner as well. Like, these are good bigs for you to learn from. But he was asked about, like, what his goals are in the NBA. And he said, quote, I've seen some young guys, when you ask them what they want, they immediately go to the highest things like championships and whatever. My main goal is to come here, be drafted if possible, and just continue developing. Stay in the NBA. Be a part of a winning team. That's all I want. All other things can come easily, but staying in the NBA is my main point. And if your goal is just like, I want to be in the NBA for a decade. Like, I want to be in the NBA. Like, that to me says like you're willing to put in some work along the way. So I like the cut of his jib. Looking forward to Summer League, seeing him on the court, which Summer League is like 9 days away, guys. Like the big Vegas Summer League, like it's like a week and a half away at this point. So looking forward to seeing him hoop. But yeah, I'm cool with it. It is what it is at this point. They got Miles Turner. They doing all kinds of stuff right now. So that's the show for this week. We hope y'all enjoyed it. Reminder, make sure you sign up on our socials and follow us if you have not yet already at Technical File, TECKNICALFOUL on Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, and Blue Sky. Technical File Podcast on Facebook and YouTube. Thank you to everybody who came through on the YouTube stream, watched it live. If you're watching it now, make sure you like the video. Don't leave before you like the video. Drop a comment, all that good stuff. We appreciate it. We appreciate y'all. And we'll be back at it again next week as well. If you want to follow me on my social medias, you can catch me.
Wait a minute.
On Twitter, Instagram, Blue Sky, PSN, Cash App, at Camille Monet, CAMILLEMONAE.
Yeah, I was about to say at Bucksburn on Twitter, but don't follow me. But I kind of like your Cash App idea, so I think it's the Eric J2, maybe.
Not a big.
You better find out before people start sending that cash.
Yeah, Tim, you do yours. I gotta find it.
And it's your boy TIMKINZ, the number 3, aka Ass Ketchum, aka Mr. Give It To Me.
Yeah, that was it. The Eric J2. Send me some money.
And Ken is everyday_gentleman on Instagram, KHarris216, everywhere else. So we appreciate y'all. Have a safe 4th of July. Enjoy y'all time off of work. And we gonna holler at y'all later. Peace out, y'all.
Tech File. Let's just play that music.
Hit them hard. Let's go. That TECK. Running back like where's my replay? Got it all in the mix, no DJs. Said it's hard in the game like he damn miscellaneous. Spitting real talk with the entertainment. Other pods I stand the game up and they get smacked back down like a WrestleMania. Tell them that they better get their nose ready at a home city. You know, get it ball, keeping on the low setting. And you know what you say, so we never gotta get telling everybody else they should get ready. Ain't nobody else doing this like I. Better keep them cameras and microphones hot, cause this one's a vibe. Gotta run this race with my tribe. Going live with the pie. Do it like there's no tomorrow. Came to my ear later. Shout out to my point guard. We about to hit them hard. Got them throwing in the tap. Tell the red blow the whistle.